This is Tommy Briggs, County Snowplow Operator, truck number 734. February 14th, 2024, 0347 hours. I'm documenting this because someone needs to know what happened out here on Highway 85. What's still happening. I've been running plows for North Dakota Department of Transportation for 11 years. Seen every kind of winter the state can throw at you. The Easter blizzard of 13. The ice storm that took down the power grid in 19. That freak October whiteout in 21 that caught everyone with their snow tires still in the garage. You live up here, you learn to respect winter. You learn that cold doesn't care about your plans, your schedule, or your survival. But this is different. My son Danny's in the passenger seat. He's 15, supposed to be at his mother's place in Minot for Valentine's weekend. But the storm came down faster than anyone predicted. National Weather Service said light snow, maybe 4 inches. By 2 p.m., we had zero visibility and drifts up to the highway signs. By 6 p.m., the governor declared a state of emergency. By midnight, they'd activated every available plow operator for emergency evacuation support. Danny wanted to come with me, said he wasn't staying home alone while I was out in this. Kid's stubborn like his old man. Guess I should have said no, but hell, I taught him to drive in snow last winter. Figured having an extra set of eyes would help in whiteout conditions. The radio crackles. Dispatch. All units be advised. Additional reports of stranded vehicles on all major evacuation routes. Repeat, all major routes compromised. Prioritize Highway 85 northbound. We have confirmed civilian casualties. Static drowns the rest. Dad, what did they say about casualties? Danny asks. His breath fogs in the cab even with the heater running full blast. The plow's temperature gauge is acting up again. 3rd time this month. I keep meaning to get it looked at. Probably accidents. I tell him. People driving too fast for conditions, sliding off into ditches. Happens every big storm. But there's something in the dispatcher's voice that doesn't sit right. I've been listening to Carol Henderson on County Emergency Dispatch for 8 years. She doesn't rattle easy. Just now, though, that wasn't concern. That was fear. The plow's headlights barely penetrate 15 feet ahead. Snow comes at the windshield like white static, hypnotic and disorienting. I've got the blade down, scraping Highway 85's northbound lane, pushing walls of snow into the median. Behind us, the road disappears in seconds. This storm is relentless, 2 inches falling per hour, winds gusting to 45 miles per hour, temperature at 8 below zero before wind chill. Add the wind chill, we're talking 30 below. Exposed skin freezes in under 10 minutes at these temperatures. I know that. Danny knows that. Every person who lives within 300 miles of here knows that. So why did I just see someone standing in the median wearing nothing but jeans and a t-shirt? I hit the brakes. The plow slides maybe 8 feet before the studs catch. Danny lurches forward against his seatbelt. Dad, what? Did you see that? See what? I'm staring into the side mirror. Nothing but white. The sodium lights on the plow tower barely illuminate the snow swirling around us. But I saw someone, I'm sure of it, standing maybe 20 feet back, just off the shoulder, watching us pass. Thought I saw, I don't finish, because if someone's out there in this storm, dressed like that, they're either already dead or minutes away from it. I radio it in. Dispatch, this is Plow 734, Highway 85 mile marker 114. Possible civilian on foot, inadequately dressed for conditions. Requesting EMS and Sheriff's Deputy 2. 734, negative on EMS deployment. Carol cuts me off. Her voice is tight. All emergency medical units are code black. Repeat, code black. All available units responding to Williston Regional. Do not, I repeat, do not approach civilians on foot. Maintain plow operations and continue north to Watford City evac checkpoint. Code Black, hospital overflow. That's mass casualty protocol. Dispatch, what the hell is happening at Williston Regional? Silence. Then, Tommy, just keep moving. Get Danny to the checkpoint. Command says. Her voice drops to barely a whisper. Command says don't let anyone flag you down. Don't stop for anyone. I'm sorry. Just don't stop. The radio goes silent. Danny's looking at me with wide eyes. Dad. It's fine, I lie. Probably just a big pileup. Multiple vehicles, lots of injuries. We keep the roads clear so the ambulances can get through when they're available. He doesn't believe me. Smart kid. I release the brake and ease the plow forward. The engine growls, blades scraping asphalt, pushing through another drift. The wind rocks the cab. Snow devils spin across the highway, ghostly in the headlights. Then I see the van. It's a white Dodge Caravan, probably a 2015, sitting sideways across both lanes about 40 feet ahead, driver's door hanging open, hazards still blinking weakly, barely visible through the snow accumulating on the vehicle. The van's been there at least 20 minutes, already buried to the wheel wells. I slow down. Can't help it. Professional instinct. There might be people in there, Danny says. Dispatch said. Dad, there might be kids in there. Damn it. I stop the plow 30 feet back and leave it running, blade down. Hit the light bar, all the emergency strobes. The scene lights up in red and amber, harsh against the white. Stay in the cab, I tell Danny. Lock the doors behind me. I'm just gonna check. Dad. Lock the doors, Danny. I grab my LED flashlight from the door pocket and step out into the storm. The cold hits like a physical force. Wind drives snow into my face, stinging exposed skin. I'm wearing my full gear. Insulated Carhartt bibs, heavy parka, lined gloves, balaclava. But within seconds I can feel the cold finding every gap. My breath freezes in my beard. My eyelashes start to ice over. I approach the van carefully. The driver's door is wide open, interior light dead. Snow has already drifted into the cabin. I shine my flashlight inside. Empty. Driver's seat, passenger seat, both empty. I check the back. 3 rows of seats. A car seat in the middle row, straps undone. A child's sippy cup on the floor, frozen solid. Pink backpack. A stuffed elephant. No people. I radio it in. Dispatch, this is 734. Got an abandoned minivan. Highway 85 mile marker 114. Vehicle appears to have been evacuating. Child safety seat present. No occupants visible. Requesting. 734. Leave the vehicle. Do not investigate further. Return to your plow and continue north. This is direct order from County Emergency Management. Carol, there's a kid's car seat here. A family was. Tommy. Her voice cracks. Please, get back in your plow. Get Danny out of there. Don't make me listen to. Just go. Please. The way she says it, like she's already mourning. I'm backing away from the van when I hear it. Footsteps, crunching in the snow, coming from the other side of the minivan. Hello, I call out. Is someone there? Are you hurt? A figure rounds the back of the van. It's a man, maybe late 30s, wearing khaki pants and a button-down shirt. No coat, no hat. His skin is pale, not frostbite pale, but wrong pale. Gray-blue. His dress shirt is torn open at the chest, exposing skin that should be blackened with frostbite by now. But it's not. It's just wrong. He's barefoot. Barefoot in 30 below wind chill, and he's walking normally. Not shuffling, not stumbling. Walking with purpose. Toward me. Sir, you need to get in my plow right now. You're hypothermic. You're going to die out here." He doesn't respond, just keeps walking. 20 feet away. 15. That's when I see his eyes. They're open, wide open. Pupils dilated so far there's almost no iris visible. And they're not blinking. The snow is hitting his eyes directly and he's not blinking. 10 feet. I can see his mouth now. It's moving, opening and closing rhythmically, like he's chewing on something except there's nothing there. His jaw works up and down, mechanical, relentless. 5 feet. "Sir, stop. Stop right there." He doesn't stop. I back toward the plow. My boots slip on the ice-slick asphalt. The thing, it's not running, but it's not stopping either. Steady, inevitable approach. I see Danny through the plow's windshield. His face is pressed to the glass, eyes huge. The thing reaches for me. I do the only thing I can think of. I swing the LED flashlight. It's a maglite, 3 pounds of aircraft aluminum. It connects with the side of his head with a sound like a hammer hitting frozen meat. He doesn't fall, doesn't even stumble. His head snaps to the side from the impact. I can see the depression in his skull where the flashlight hit, but he just turns back to me and keeps coming. His hands close on my jacket. I shove backward, hard. He's lighter than he should be. Malnutrition light, dehydration light, and he staggers. But he doesn't let go. His fingers are locked on my coat like rigor mortis. Danny's screaming something I can't hear over the wind. The thing opens its mouth wider. I can see down his throat. His tongue is swollen, blackened, frost patterns on the inside of his cheeks. He's trying to bite me. I drive my knee into his stomach. No reaction. Punch him in the throat. Nothing. His grip doesn't loosen. Those dead eyes don't register pain. So I drop my weight backward and twist, using his own grip to pull him off balance. He tumbles forward and I roll left. His face hits the asphalt where my neck was a second ago. Teeth crack against pavement. I scramble to my feet and run for the plow. Behind me, I hear him getting up. No groaning, no breathing sounds. Just the crunch of boots on snow, except he's barefoot, the sound of footsteps following. I reach the plow and yank the door open. Danny has already unlocked it. I throw myself inside and slam the door, hitting the lock button. The thing reaches the driver's side and starts clawing at the window. Its fingernails are gone, ripped off or frozen off, and it's leaving bloody smears on the glass. Its mouth opens and closes, opens and closes. That mechanical chewing motion never stops. "Dad, what the fuck?" Language, I say automatically, which is insane, but my brain isn't processing correctly. The thing is hammering on the window now. The glass isn't going to break. It's safety glass, reinforced, but the sound of it, that relentless pounding, that face pressed against the window with its dead eyes and its chewing mouth. I throw the plow into gear and accelerate. The thing is still holding onto the mirror mount. It gets dragged maybe 15 feet before it loses its grip and tumbles away into the darkness. I'm breathing hard. Danny's breathing hard. The cab is silent except for our breathing and the roar of the engine and the scrape of the blade. Was that? Danny can't finish the sentence. I don't know. Dad, that looked like. I said I don't know. But I do know. I grew up on Romero movies. Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. I've watched every season of The Walking Dead with Danny when his mother wasn't around to veto it. I know exactly what that looked like. I just don't believe it. Can't believe it. The radio crackles. All units, confirm receipt of updated protocols. Do not approach civilians on foot. Do not engage with any persons exhibiting static, violent behavior. Maintain safe distance. All evacuation personnel are advised. Static. FEMA containment protocols now in effect. Repeat. FEMA containment. The The transmission cuts out completely. I grab the handset. Dispatch, this is 734. Carol, are you there? I need clarification on that last transmission. What's FEMA containment? What's happening? No response. Carol, respond. Dispatch, anyone, respond. Static. I switch channels. Channel 9, the emergency channel. Channel 19, trucker channel. The CB in this plow can pick up anything within 20 miles. I cycle through every frequency. Nothing but static. Or wait, there's something on channel 19. Faint, breaking up. Don't know how many. They came from the clinic. Jesus Christ, they came from the hospital. Everyone who died today, they got back up. They're screaming in the background. Biting people. You get bit, you die, you get up, and more static. Then, clear as day, it's the fucking apocalypse, man. Get off the roads. Hide. Don't let them. Silence. Danny is staring at the radio, then at me. Where's the nearest checkpoint? He asks quietly. I check the GPS mounted on the dash. The evacuation checkpoint is at the Watford City Community Center. That's 43 miles north of our current position. In good conditions, maybe 40 minutes. In this storm, with the roads like this, 2 hours minimum. We can make it, I tell him. We just have to. Something hits the plow blade. The impact jolts through the whole truck. I see a dark shape tumble up over the blade, slam into the hood, and slide up the windshield. Person. Another one. This one's wearing a winter coat, but the coat is soaked with blood. The person. It's a woman, I think. Scrabbles at the windshield with broken hands, her face pressed against the glass. Her mouth is chewing at nothing. I hit the windshield wipers. The blades knock her hands away, but she's still there, clinging to the wiper mechanism. Dad! I accelerate and hit the brakes hard. The woman flies off the hood and disappears behind us. How many of them are there? Danny's voice is shaking. I don't answer because I don't know. But I'm starting to understand what Carol meant, what the dispatcher was trying to tell me without saying it out loud, without causing panic. The evacuation routes aren't compromised by the storm. They're compromised by the infected. Mile marker 117. The plow's odometer says we've covered 3 miles in the last 40 minutes. The snow is getting heavier. Visibility down to maybe 10 feet. The blade keeps catching on drifts that have frozen solid. I can hear the scrape of frozen compacted snow against steel, the grinding protest of the hydraulics. Danny hasn't spoken since the woman on the hood. He's got my phone out, his died hours ago. Scrolling through messages that won't send. No signal. The cell towers in this part of the state are sparse on a good day. In this storm, with this wind, forget it. I'm watching the road and watching the mirrors and watching the sides of the highway all at once. Every shadow in the snow could be another one of them. Every dark shape could be a person who died of exposure and got back up. Because that's what's happening. I've accepted it. Had to accept it. The alternative is thinking I'm hallucinating, having a breakdown, and I can't afford that. Not with Danny depending on me. People are dying in this storm. And when they die, they're coming back. Changed. Wrong. Hungry. The CB radio spits static occasionally. Fragments of voices. Screaming. Prayer. Someone singing Amazing Grace until the transmission cuts off mid-verse. I keep checking channel 9, hoping for official word, hoping for instructions. Nothing. Dad, what about Mom? The question I've been dreading. Danny's mother, Stephanie, lives in Minot with her new husband. That's 140 miles east of here. Different storm system trajectory. Maybe the outbreak, if that's what this is, hasn't reached that far yet. Maybe. Your mom's smart, I tell him. She'll hunker down, stay inside. That's the safest thing right now. But if those things are in Minot, We don't know they're in Minot. We don't know how far this has spread. Could just be localized. Could just be our county. I don't believe that, but I need him to stay calm. Need him to not panic. Because if he panics, I'll panic and then we're both dead. Mile marker 121. The road curves here, following the Missouri River Valley. In summer, this stretch is beautiful. Rolling prairie, wildflowers, the river glinting in the sun. Now it's a corridor of white death. The wind is brutal along the river, nothing to break it for miles. Snow devils spin across the highway like dervishes. The plow rocks on its suspension. That's when I see the pileup. 5 vehicles, maybe 6. It's hard to tell. They're all buried under snow, only the roof lines and antennas visible. A semi jackknifed it across both lanes. A sedan crushed under the trailer. What looks like a pickup truck on its side in the median. And something else, something twisted and burned, smoking despite the snow. I slow down. Can't get past without clearing at least some of this. Dad, dispatch said not to stop. We don't have a choice. Road's blocked. I bring the plow to a halt about 50 feet back and assess the situation. The semi is the main problem. If I can hook onto it with the tow chain, I might be able to drag it enough to get past. Maybe. I need to get out and check the vehicles, I tell Danny. See if... No. Danny. No. You saw what happened last time. You go out there and one of those things grabs you, then what? I'm stuck here alone. I can't drive this plow. I can barely drive Mom's Honda. He's right, but we can't sit here. Okay, I say. New plan. I'm going to try to push the semi with the plow blade. If that doesn't work... Movement. In the pileup, something's moving between the vehicles. I hit the spotlight, swing it toward the wreckage. There are people, 3 no 4 of them, stumbling between the cars. They're dressed for winter, heavy coats and boots, which means these aren't exposure victims. These are people who were in the pileup, people who died in the crashes, and got back up. One of them turns toward our lights. It's a trucker still wearing his high-vis vest. Half his face is caved in windshield impact, probably. He should be dead. He is dead. But he's walking, shambling toward us with that same mechanical motion. The others notice us now. They're all turning, all starting toward the plow. Dad! I see them. I throw the plow into reverse. The blade is still down, scraping asphalt as we back up. The infected are 30 feet away. 25. They're not running, but they're not slow either. Steady, purposeful. Like they can smell us. Like they know there's living meat in this truck and they want it. One of them, a woman in a Subaru jacket, reaches the plow blade. She walks right into it, face first. The blade catches her at chest height and she just keeps pushing against it. Arms reaching over the top, that chewing motion never stopping. I shift back into drive and accelerate. The blade catches her and she goes down under the plow. I feel the bump as we go over her. The truck lurches. Danny makes a sound like he's going to be sick. Don't look, I tell him. Watch the road behind us. I'm doing 20 miles per hour now, in reverse, the plow fishtailing slightly. The other infected are following, but we're pulling away. 40 feet, 60, 80. Then I hit something. The impact throws us both forward. The engine dies. I crank the key, it turns over once, twice, catches. But when I try to move, the plow won't budge. We're stuck on something. I check the mirrors. There's a car behind us. We backed right into it. A silver Toyota Corolla, buried in snow. Must have been on the shoulder and I didn't see it. And now the infected are 60 feet away and closing. I try rocking the plow. Forward, reverse, forward. The wheels spin. We're high-centered on something, maybe the Corolla's hood, maybe ice buildup. 50 feet. Dad, they're coming. I know. Just hold on. I throw the transfer case into four-wheel drive low and gun it. The engine roars. The wheels spin, smoking. For a moment, nothing happens. Then we lurch forward. Metal screams as we tear free. The plow jumps ahead and I'm fighting the wheel, getting us straightened out. The infected are 40 feet back now. We're moving again, pulling away. But we can't go forward, the pileup is still blocking both lanes. And we can't go back, more infected are coming from that direction. I can see them in the mirrors emerging from the whiteout. 6, 8, 10 of them. Some from the pileup vehicles, some from God knows where, all converging on our position. We're boxed in. The median, Danny says. I look. The median here is just a flat strip of grass between the northbound and southbound lanes. In summer, it's maybe 20 feet wide. Now it's buried under 3 feet of snow. But there's nothing stopping us from crossing it except the snow itself. And this plow is designed to go through snow. Hold on. I crank the wheel left and accelerate toward the median. The plow hits the built-up snow berm at 30 miles per hour. We crash through it, snow exploding across the windshield. The plow lurches, tilts. For a second I think we're going to roll, then crashes down on the other side in the southbound lanes. I straighten out and check the mirrors. The infected are still on the northbound side. Some of them are trying to follow, floundering in the deep median snow. One of them is crawling. They're slow in the deep snow, much slower. We have maybe 2 minutes before they cross. We're going the wrong way, Danny says. He's right. We're now heading south on Highway 85, back toward Williston, back toward where this started. But the southbound lanes are clearer than the northbound, less traffic, fewer abandoned vehicles. We'll turn around when we can, I tell him. Get past that pileup and then cross back over. We just need. The radio crackles to life. Anyone on this channel? This is Watford City Community Center. Emergency checkpoint is compromised. Repeat, checkpoint is compromised. Do not, screaming, gunfire. They're inside. They're inside the building. Oh God, they're. Static. Then silence. Danny and I look at each other. The checkpoint is gone. Our destination, our evacuation point, the place we were supposed to be safe. Gone. Where do we go? Danny's voice is small, young. He's trying so hard to be brave and I'm so proud of him and so terrified for him that I can barely think straight. I check the fuel gauge. 3/4 of a tank. Maybe 200 miles of range. The plow has auxiliary fuel tanks. We're good there. Food. Water. There's a case of water bottles in the back and some protein bars in the glove box. Not much, but enough for a day or two. Shelter. That's the problem. We can't drive forever. Eventually we'll run out of fuel or hit a blockage we can't get past or just get too tired to keep going safely. We need a plan. Okay, I say. Okay, we're going to head to the quarry. What quarry? The limestone quarry off County Road 12. You remember we went there last summer for your science project. You needed samples. That's like 30 miles from here. 27. It's remote. No town nearby. The office building has thick walls, reinforced because of the blasting. Generator power. They keep supplies there for the work crew. Food, water, first aid. But Dad, that's south. That's back toward. I know, but the quarry is up on a ridge. Elevated position. We can see anything coming. And the access road is gated. We can defend it if we have to. Defend it. Listen to me. I'm talking about defending a position against the Walking Dead like this is a war zone. Maybe it is. What about Mom? Danny asks again. I don't have an answer. Can't have an answer. Because if I think about Stephanie, about whether she's safe or whether she's one of those things now, I'll lose it. and I can't lose it. We get to safety first, I tell him. Then we figure out communication. Maybe the landlines are still up at the quarry. Maybe we can reach her. He nods. Doesn't believe me, but he nods. I navigate through the abandoned vehicles on the southbound side, the plow blade pushing wrecks aside when they're too close. The storm is relentless. Snow and wind and cold that kills. But the cold might be the only thing keeping us alive. These infected, they're not feeling the cold, not dying from it, but they're slower in it. Stiff. The sub-freezing temperatures are working against them, freezing joints, making movement harder. It's the only advantage we have. Mile marker 114 again, we've circled back to where we started. The white Dodge Caravan is still there, still buried. But now there are shapes around it. 6, 7, 8 of them. The infected, standing in the storm, waiting. They turn toward our headlights. I accelerate past them at 45 miles per hour, the plow bouncing through drifts. In the mirrors, I watch them try to follow. They're falling behind quickly. But they're not giving up. They just keep walking, following. Like they know we can't drive forever. County Road 12 is a 2-lane strip of asphalt that runs through empty farmland, connecting small towns that are barely dots on the map. In summer, you might see a car every 20 minutes. In winter, during a blizzard, we haven't seen another vehicle in 40 minutes. We haven't seen any infected either. That should be comforting. It's not. Dad, why aren't there more of them? Population density, I tell him. Out here, you've got maybe 5 people per square mile. In a storm like this, most folks were home when it hit. Stayed home. The ones on the roads, evacuees, emergency personnel, those are the ones who died out here. But Williston has like 30,000 people. Had. The word comes out harder than I intended. If what happened at the hospital spread through town. I don't finish. Don't need to. The windshield wipers are struggling against the ice buildup. I hit the washer fluid, but it freezes on contact. I'm driving half blind, using the road edge markers to navigate. Every few hundred yards, I have to stop and scrape the windshield with the brush. Each time I do, Danny watches the mirrors like a hawk, waiting for shapes to emerge from the snow. Nothing yet. The quarry access road appears as 2 concrete pillars on our right, gate hanging open. Someone already came through here. Recently, the snow in the tire tracks is fresh. Someone else had the same idea, Danny says. Maybe. I turn onto the access road, the plow grinding through deeper snow. This road isn't maintained for winter. The county doesn't plow it, just the quarry company, and only when they're operating. The gate being open is odd. The quarry shuts down December through March. Nobody should be here, unless they had the same idea we did. The access road climbs uphill through a corridor of snow-buried scrub pine. The quarry sits on top of a ridge, the limestone beds exposed by decades of blasting. The office building is at the northeast corner, overlooking the pit. 2 stories, concrete construction, built to withstand the vibrations from the explosives. It's the most solid structure within 20 miles. We crest the ridge and the quarry spreads out before us. The pit is maybe 200 feet deep, walls carved in terrace steps. In summer it's loud, jackhammers and dump trucks and the crack of controlled detonations. Now it's silent, buried. The only sound is the wind screaming across the open pit. The office building sits dark against the white. But there's a light, 2nd floor window, flickering. Candlelight or flashlight. Someone's here. I approach slowly, keeping the plow's headlights on the building, looking for movement, threat. The parking area has 2 vehicles, a Ford F-150 with a snowplow attachment, private rig, and a Jeep Grand Cherokee, newer model, expensive. Should we? Danny starts. The office door opens. A man emerges. He's holding a rifle, not aiming it at us, but holding it ready. Mid-40s, heavy coat, gloves. Behind him, in the doorway, I see a flashlight beam. Someone else. I roll down my window. Cold air floods the cab. "That's far enough," the man calls out. His voice carries across the wind. "You armed?" "Just flares and a crowbar," I call back. "County snowplow. Got my son with me, looking for shelter." "You bit?" "What? Are either of you bit? Scratched? Injured?" So he knows. He's seen them. "No, we're clean." He considers this. The rifle doesn't waver. Finally, "Park it over there. Leave the keys in the ignition. Come inside slowly. Keep your hands visible." I do as he says. Park the plow next to the F-150. Leave it running. Might need a quick exit. Danny and I climb out into the storm. The man backs into the doorway, rifle still ready. We follow him into the building. The interior is warmer, maybe 50 degrees, heated by a propane heater someone set up in the main office area. There are 3 other people here. A woman, late 30s, expensive winter gear. A teenage girl, maybe 17, looks like the woman, daughter probably. And an older man, 60-something, wearing a security guard uniform. The quarry's weekend security guard. I recognize him. Pete something. He's worked here for years. "Tommy Briggs," Pete says, lowering a shotgun I didn't notice he was holding. "Didn't expect to see you out here. Didn't expect to be here. This is my son, Danny. This is Mitchell and Susan Keller." Pete indicates the man with the rifle and the woman. "And their daughter, Brittany. They were trying to evacuate north when the road got blocked. I let them in about 2 hours ago." "What's the situation?" Mitchell asks, still holding the rifle. "We've been getting fragments on the radio, but nothing clear." Are they everywhere?" "Don't know about everywhere," I say. "Watford City checkpoint got overrun. Highway 85 is crawling with them. We saw maybe 30 between here and there." "It's the storm," Susan says. Her voice is tight, controlled. "People caught in the blizzard, dying from exposure. When they die, they get back up," Brittany finishes. Her voice is flat, shocked. "How long until the storm breaks?" Mitchell asks. I check my watch. National Weather Service predicted clearing by dawn. That's, I calculate, 4 hours. And then what? And then we can see what we're dealing with. Right now, in this whiteout, we don't know how many of them there are, how far the outbreak has spread. When visibility improves, we can make decisions. Decisions about what? Susan demands. About where we go. Where's safe? Is anywhere safe? Nobody has an answer for that. Pete breaks the silence. I've got the building secured. All doors locked. Windows are small and reinforced. Safety requirement because of the blasting. Generators got fuel for 72 hours. We've got food for a week if we ration. Water from the cooler. First aid kit. Some tools in the maintenance bay. Weapons? Mitchell asks. Besides what you brought, I've got the shotgun, 12 shells. There's a nail gun in the workshop, battery-powered. Some pry bars. That's about it. We need to barricade the doors, Mitchell says. Windows too. Use desks, filing cabinets, whatever we've got. Already started, Pete says. Ground floor is mostly blocked. But if you want to help, we'll help, I say. We spend the next hour fortifying the building. Danny and Brittany work together dragging filing cabinets to block the ground floor windows. Mitchell and I reinforce the main entrance with a heavy steel desk and a maintenance cart full of equipment. Susan inventories our supplies, making lists with the methodical precision of someone who needs a task to avoid thinking about what's happening. Pete shows me the generator room. It's loud, he warns, but it's in the basement, concrete walls. Sound won't carry far. How many gallons? 200 in the main tank, another 50 in jerry cans. We run minimal power, just the heater and a few lights. We can stretch it. What about communication? He shakes his head. Landline's dead. Cell tower must be down, no signal. CB radio is getting some chatter, but it's mostly screaming. I shut it off. Bad for morale. Any word on what caused this? Nothing official, but I heard something earlier, before the radio signals got too scrambled. Some trucker said the hospital in Williston had a chemical spill yesterday morning. Biohazard team came in from Minot. Then people started dying. First a few, then dozens. Then the dead started moving. Chemical spill, I repeat. You believe that? I believe something happened, whether it's chemicals or a virus or something else. Does it matter? The result is the same. He's right. Knowing the cause won't help us survive. We return upstairs. Mitchell is at the second-floor window, watching the storm through binoculars. Visibility's improving, he says. Wind's dying down. I can see maybe 50 yards now. I check my watch. 0642 hours. Dawn in about 40 minutes. The storm has been raging for almost 18 hours. Anything moving out there? Not yet, but when visibility gets better, they'll be able to see us too, Susan finishes. Danny is sitting with Brittany on a bench near the heater. They're sharing one of the protein bars, talking quietly. It's strange seeing normal teenage interaction in the middle of this nightmare. For a moment, they're just kids worried about regular kid things. Then Brittany says something and Danny's face goes pale. He looks at me. Dad, Brittany's friend was at Watford City checkpoint. She was texting with her until an hour ago, Brittany says. Her voice is shaking. Heather stopped replying. Her last message was, she holds up her phone. The screen shows a text conversation. The last message reads, they're in the building, oh God, they're. Nothing after that. I'm sorry, I tell her, because what else can you say? Susan moves to her daughter, wraps an arm around her shoulders. The gesture is protective, maternal, but I see the fear in Susan's eyes, the knowledge that she can't actually protect her daughter from this. None of us can protect our kids from this. First light in 30 minutes, Mitchell says from the window. We should decide on a plan. Do we stay here or try to move? Where would we go? Pete asks. Every checkpoint is compromised. Every town is probably crawling with those things by now. We don't know that. Maybe it's just this county. Maybe if we head east, toward Minot. Minot is 100 miles through storm-damaged roads in vehicles that might run out of gas. And we'd be traveling through populated areas. More people means more of them. So we just sit here? Susan's voice rises. Wait for them to find us? Hope they don't. We sit here until we have actionable intelligence, Mitchell says. He's got that military bearing, retired service, probably. We fortify our position, conserve resources, and gather information. When we know what we're dealing with, we make a decision based on facts, not panic. Easy to say when you're not thinking about your wife, I say quietly. He looks at me. I am thinking about my wife. She's in Bismarck with her sister, 200 miles southeast, and I want nothing more than to get in my Jeep and drive there right now. But that would be suicide. The smart play is to wait for confirmation that it's safe to move. And if that confirmation never comes? He doesn't have an answer. Dawn comes slowly. The darkness lifts in degrees, revealing a landscape transformed. The storm has passed. The wind has died to occasional gusts. The snow has stopped. And we can see. The quarry spreads out below us, terraced walls of limestone descending into the pit. The access road snakes down the ridge. And beyond Beyond that, the highway. From this elevation, we can see for miles. We can see the smoke. Multiple columns, rising from the direction of Williston. Too much smoke for car fires or house fires. That's a town burning. Jesus, pet vispers. Mitchell is scanning the area with binoculars. Movement, he says. On the highway, multiple contacts. He hands me the binoculars. I focus on Highway 85, 2 miles distant. They're there, dozens of them, maybe 100, walking, all heading in the same direction, north, following the evacuation route, following the path the living took. They're tracking us, Danny says. He's standing next to me, looking through his own cheap binoculars, the ones I bought him for birdwatching last spring. They're following the roads, Mitchell corrects, looking for anything living. It's instinct. Do they know we're here? Susan asks. Shouldn't, Pete says. We're off the main road, elevated position. As long as we keep the lights off during the day, stay quiet. A sound cuts him off, distant but distinct. An engine. We all freeze. Listen. It's getting closer, coming up the access road. Mitchell moves to the window. Vehicle approaching. Pickup truck, moving fast. I join him. Through the binoculars, I can see it. A Dodge Ram, red, maybe 10 years old. It's fishtailing on the snow-covered road, accelerating up the ridge. It's being chased, Mitchell says. He's right. Behind the truck, maybe 50 yards back, there are shapes. Running shapes. The infected don't usually run, they shamble, walk with that steady mechanical purpose. But these ones are different, faster. Recently turned, I realize. They still have muscle coordination. They haven't stiffened up from the cold yet. The truck reaches the parking area and skids to a stop. The driver's door flies open and a man jumps out. Young, maybe mid-20s, wearing a blood-soaked jacket. He's screaming something we can't hear through the glass. He's leading them right to us, Susan says. The infected crest the ridge. 8 of them, running. They spread out, surrounding the truck. The man sees them coming and sprints toward the office building. Don't let him in, Susan shouts. He'll compromise our position. We can't just leave him, Danny says. Watch me, Mitchell says. He's already moving away from the window. But Pete is faster. He's at the door, unlocking it. Get in here, he yells at the running man. Pete, no. Mitchell lunges for the door, but Pete's already pulled it open. The young man runs inside. 3 seconds later, the infected reach the door. Pete slams it shut and throws the bolt. The nearest infected hits the door a moment later. The whole frame shudders. Then another hits it, and another. They're pounding on the door, clawing at it. I can hear them now, that same mechanical chewing sound multiplied, like meat grinders running. Barricade, Mitchell shouts. Now! We're all moving. The steel desk gets dragged against the door. The maintenance cart, a filing cabinet. The infected are throwing themselves against the door with mindless violence. The wood is solid, but the frame is starting to splinter. Windows, Susan screams. 2 of the infected have broken off from the door. They're at the ground floor windows, hammering against the glass. The windows are small, reinforced, but they're not designed to withstand this kind of sustained assault. The young man is bent over, hands on his knees, gasping. His jacket is soaked with blood, fresh blood. Are you bit? I demand. He looks up at me. His eyes are wide, panicked. What? No, I'm not. This isn't my blood. It's my brother's. They got him at the gas station. I couldn't save him. Check him, Mitchell orders. Pete grabs the man's arms. I need to make sure you're not infected. I told you, I'm not bit. Then you won't mind proving it. The man reluctantly strips off his jacket. His shirt underneath is clean. No blood. Pete checks his arms, his neck. No bites. No scratches. He's clean, Pete confirms. The window on the east wall cracks. Just a small fracture, but it's spreading. The infected outside have found a rock or a piece of metal. They're using it as a weapon now. Second floor, Mitchell says. We need to get to the second floor and pull up the stairs. The stairs don't pull up, Pete says. They're permanent. Then we block them. Move. We're running for the stairs when the window breaks. Safety glass spiderwebs and collapses inward. An arm reaches through, grasping. The filing cabinet we'd stacked against the window is heavy enough that the infected can't push it aside. But that arm keeps reaching, keeps grabbing. We pile furniture on the stairs. Desks, chairs, filing cabinets, creating a barrier between the ground floor and the second. It won't hold long. Those things are relentless, but it might buy us time. How many shells do you have left? Mitchell asks Pete. 12. You? 30 rounds for the rifle. That's it. We can't fight them, I say. There's too many. Then what do you suggest? Mitchell's voice is sharp. I look at Danny, at Brittany, at Susan and Pete and the young man whose name I don't even know. We run, I say. The second floor has 3 rooms, the main office area, a conference room, and Pete's security office. Mitchell and Pete drag a heavy oak desk to the top of the stairs while the rest of us search for anything useful. The young man, his name is Kyle, he finally tells us, is at the window watching the infected. There's more coming, he says. From the highway. They must have seen my truck. I join him. He's right. More shapes are emerging from the snowdrifts along the access road. 10, 15, 20, all converging on the building. How long can we hold? Danny asks. We can't, I tell him honestly. The ground floor is already compromised. Once they break through the barricade on the stairs. How long? He insists. I look at the furniture piled on the stairwell. The desk is solid oak, probably 300 pounds. The filing cabinets are steel. But the infected don't get tired. They don't stop. They'll push and push and push until something gives. An hour, I estimate, maybe less. Susan is crying quietly. Brittany is holding her mother, and I can see the girl is terrified but trying to be strong. There's a role reversal, the child comforting the parent, and it breaks my heart. Mitchell is checking his rifle. We could make a run for it. Use the vehicles. My truck's surrounded, Kyle says. They'd be all over us before we got the doors closed. Your plow. I shake my head. I left it running, but the cab only seats 2. Maybe 3 if someone sits on the center console. We've got 7 people here. My Jeep seats 5, Mitchell offers. Pete's truck can fit 2. We could. A crash from downstairs cuts him off. The barricade on the main door is failing. I can hear wood splintering, metal scraping. The mechanical chewing sound is louder now. Closer. We need to move now, Pete says. Mitchell looks at Susan and Brittany, then at Danny and me, making calculations. Survival math. Jeep takes 5, he says slowly. Pete's truck takes 2. That's all 7 of us. The Jeep's on the far side of the parking area, Pete says. 30 yards from the door. Kyle's truck is closest, but it's surrounded. We clear a path, Mitchell says. Pete and I provide covering fire. Everyone runs for the vehicles. Pete, you take. He looks at us, deciding who goes in which vehicle. You take Tommy and Danny in your truck. Tommy can navigate, knows the area. I'll take Susan, Brittany, Kyle in the Jeep. Where do we go? Susan asks. East, I say. Away from Williston. There's a grain elevator complex about 40 miles out, near Keene. Concrete silos, elevated office. We can see for miles in every direction. Secure it, wait for rescue. What rescue? Kyle asks bitterly. Who's coming to save us? Nobody answers because nobody knows. The door downstairs gives way. The crash echoes through the building. Then the sound we've all been dreading, footsteps. Multiple sets. The infected are inside. They're coming up the stairs. Go time, Mitchell says. He's at the top of the stairs, rifle aimed down. Pete's beside him with the shotgun. The first infected appears at the bottom of the barricade. It's the woman from earlier, the one in the Subaru jacket. Half her face is frozen black from frostbite, but the other half is still recognizably human. She starts climbing over the desk. Mitchell fires. The shot is deafeningly loud in the enclosed space. The bullet catches the woman in the chest. She staggers backward but doesn't fall. Doesn't stop. Headshots, I shout. You have to destroy the brain. Mitchell adjusts his aim and fires again. The woman's head snaps back. She collapses. But there are more behind her. 3, 4, 5 of them, climbing over the barricade. Pete fires the shotgun, boom, and one of them goes down hard. But the barricade is giving way. The desk is sliding. We have to go, Mitchell says. Right now. Pete, you're with me. Everyone else, get to the back window. We're going out that way. The back window. We're on the second floor. It's a 15-foot drop to the snow-covered ground below. But looking at the infected pouring over the barricade, a 15-foot drop seems manageable. Danny and I run to the conference room. The window faces the parking area. I can see Pete's truck, maybe 20 feet from directly below us. Mitchell's Jeep is further, but clear of infected for the moment. I wrestle the window open. Cold air rushes in. The drop looks worse from up here. I'll go first, I tell Danny. Land in the snowdrift. It'll break your fall. Behind us, gunfire. Mitchell and Pete are still holding the stairs, but they're burning through ammunition fast. I climb out the window, hang from the sill, and drop. The landing is harder than I expected. The snowdrift has a frozen crust. I punch through it and hit the ground beneath with jarring force. My ankle twists but holds. Come on, I call up to Danny. He doesn't hesitate, climbs out, drops. I catch him or try to. We both go down in the snow. Brittany comes next, then Susan. Kyle drops awkwardly and I hear something crack. His wrist. Maybe. He's cradling his arm, but he's up, moving. Mitchell appears at the window. Pete, go! Pete fires one last shotgun blast and runs. He gets to the window, climbs out, drops. Mitchell follows. We're all on the ground, exposed. The infected at the front of the building are starting to notice us. Truck, now! Pete is running for his F-150. Danny and I follow. Behind us, Mitchell is herding his group toward the Jeep. An infected lurches out from behind Kyle's abandoned Ram. It's wearing a highway patrol uniform. Trooper Harrison, I recognize him. He was a good man. Now he's just another thing that wants to eat us. Pete doesn't slow down. He lowers his shoulder and barrels into Harrison. The dead trooper goes flying, hits the side of Kyle's truck, and slides down. We reach Pete's F-150. The doors are unlocked, thank God. Danny jumps in the passenger side. I'm climbing in the crew cab back seat when I see them. 3 infected, coming around the corner of the building. Fast ones. They see Mitchell's group running for the Jeep. Mitchell, I shout, on your 6. He turns, sees them, and fires. 1 goes down, 2 left, and they're close. Susan reaches the Jeep and yanks the door open. Brittany dives into the back seat. Kyle is fumbling with his broken wrist, trying to get the other door open. The infected are 10 feet away. Mitchell fires again. Misses. They're moving too fast, weaving. Kyle gets the door open and throws himself inside. Mitchell backpedals toward the driver's door, still firing. He gets it open, slides in, slams it shut. The infected reach the Jeep and start pounding on the windows. Pete's truck roars to life. He throws it in reverse and we lurch backward, turning in the parking area. Mitchell's Jeep isn't moving. Through the snow-covered windshield, I can see him cranking the key. Once, twice. The engine isn't catching. He's flooded it, Pete says. Damn it, he's flooded it. More infected are emerging from the building. Dozens now. They're surrounding the Jeep, pressing against it, rocking it. Inside, I can see Susan screaming. We have to help them, Danny says. How? Pete demands. Ram the Jeep? Push them away? We just get stuck too. Mitchell is still trying to start the engine. The starter motor whines. Then finally it catches. The Jeep's engine roars to life. Mitchell throws it in gear and guns it. The Jeep lurches forward, infected flying off the hood. One stays attached to the driver's door, clinging to the mirror mount. Mitchell swerves hard and it loses its grip, tumbling away into the snow. Go! I shout at Pete. Follow him. Pete accelerates down the access road. In the side mirror, I watch the quarry recede. The building is surrounded now, at least 40 infected clustering around it, more coming from the highway. We made it out, barely. But we're not safe. We're just mobile. Where's the grain elevator? Pete asks. County Road 37. I tell him. East of here. We need to take Highway 85 south about 10 miles, then cut east. Highway 85 is crawling with them. You got a better route? He doesn't. The Jeep is ahead of us, fishtailing slightly on the snow-covered road. Mitchell's brake lights flash as he navigates a turn too fast. The Jeep slides, recovers. He needs to slow down, Pete mutters. This snow's not packed. It's loose. He's going to. The Jeep's rear end breaks loose. Mitchell overcorrects. The vehicle spins, slides sideways off the road, and crashes into a snowbank. Pete hits the brakes. We slide to a stop 30 feet from the Jeep. For a moment, nothing happens. Then the driver's door opens. Mitchell climbs out, looking shaken but unhurt. The passenger door opens. Susan and Brittany emerge from the back. But the rear passenger door isn't opening. Mitchell is pulling on it. It's jammed, the impact crumpled the frame. Kyle is trapped inside. We need a crowbar, Mitchell shouts. Pete's already moving. He grabs a pry bar from the bed of his truck and runs to the Jeep. Together, he and Mitchell work the door, trying to force it open. That's when I see them. Coming up the access road behind us. 20 infected, maybe 30. They were following us from the quarry. Danny, get in the driver's seat. I tell him. If I say go, you drive. Don't wait for me. Dad, do it. I grab the other crowbar from Pete's truck bed and run to help. The four of us, Mitchell, Pete, Susan, and me, are all working the jammed door now. Kyle is pushing from inside. The door is moving, creaking open inch by inch. The infected are 100 yards away. 80. Come on, come on. Mitchell is chanting. The door pops open. Kyle scrambles out, cradling his broken wrist. Everyone in Pete's truck, I shout. Now. Susan and Brittany run. Kyle follows, moving awkwardly. Mitchell and Pete are right behind them. I'm last, 30 yards from the truck. The infected are 60 yards behind me and closing. I'm not going to make it. Dad, run. Danny is screaming from the driver's seat. I'm running, but they're faster. I can hear them behind me, That horrible mechanical chewing sound. Getting closer. 20 yards to the truck. 15. Something grabs my coat. I feel fingers lock onto the fabric. I twist, pull away. The coat tears, but I break free. 10 yards. Another hand grabs my shoulder. I spin and drive the crowbar into a face. Frozen bone crunches. The thing falls away. 5 yards. Multiple hands now. They're all around me. I'm swinging the crowbar wildly, hitting flesh and bone, but there are too many. A gunshot. One of the infected next to me drops. Another shot. Another drop. Mitchell is out of the truck, firing over the roof, providing cover. I dive for the truck bed. Hands grab my legs, but I kick free and roll into the bed. Pete guns the engine and we're moving, accelerating away. I lie in the truck bed, gasping, watching the infected recede behind us. We're alive. For now, the grain elevator complex sits on a flat expanse of prairie, visible for miles in every direction. For concrete silos, each 80 feet tall, connected by a network of metal catwalks and conveyor housings. The office is a small building at the base, 2 stories, mostly windows on the upper floor for monitoring operations. It's as defensible as we're going to get. Pete's truck rolls into the complex parking area. The place is deserted, has been since harvest ended in October. The gates were unlocked, which concerns me, but we don't have better options. We're all exhausted. The drive from the quarry took 90 minutes, navigating back roads and farm tracks to avoid Highway 85. We saw infected along the way, individuals and small groups, wandering the snowfields like lost cattle. But nothing organized, nothing concentrated. That doesn't mean we're safe. Danny and I will check the office, I tell the group. Make sure it's clear. Mitchell nods. He's organizing the others, getting them into the building, assessing our supplies. His military training is showing he's good in a crisis, stays focused. The office door is unlocked. Danny and I clear each room methodically, checking closets and bathrooms. Empty. The place is cold. The heat's been off for months, but it's solid. The walls are thick concrete on the ground floor, metal and glass on the second. The windows offer a 360 view of the surrounding prairie. From up here, we can see everything coming. This could work, Danny says quietly. I want to agree with him, want to believe we've found sanctuary, but I'm looking at the landscape and doing math. The nearest town is 12 miles north, another 20 miles south. If even a fraction of those populations turned, if the infection spread through them the way it spread through Williston, there could be thousands of infected out there, wandering, searching, and we're alone. We need to inventory our supplies, I tell him. Food, water, ammunition. Figure out how long we can last. We return to the ground floor. Pete has found the facility's emergency supplies. A cabinet with basic first aid, some bottled water, a case of MREs from some disaster preparedness program. Kyle is sitting against the wall, his broken wrist splinted with duct tape and a ruler. Susan is holding Brittany, both of them silent. Mitchell catches my eye and jerks his head toward the door. I follow him outside. We need to talk, he says quietly, about realistic timelines. Okay. Best case scenario, this outbreak is localized. Just North Dakota, maybe Montana. The CDC, FEMA, the military, they'll quarantine the hot zones and start clearing operations. We hunker down for a week, maybe 2, then we get evacuated. And worst case, this is national, global, in which case no one's coming. We're on our own indefinitely. I look at the horizon. The smoke from Williston is still visible, a dark smudge against the white sky. You think it's national, I say. I think if it was just us, we'd have seen military aircraft by now. Helicopters, transport planes. something, but the sky's been empty. The radio's dead. That tells me the infrastructure is gone, which means it's everywhere. He nods. So we need to plan for the long term. Food, water, security, that grain elevator. Is there grain in those silos? Probably. They don't fully empty them. There's always residual grain left in the bottom. Wheat mostly, some barley. That's food. We can make flour, bake bread. The silos will keep it dry and protected from rats. And water. There's a well on the property. Hand pump, used for washing down equipment. So we have food and water. That's a start. Security is the issue. Those things are slow but relentless. If they concentrate on this location, if enough of them come, we can't hold. Then we don't let them concentrate. We stay quiet. Keep lights off at night. No fires. No noise. We become invisible. For how long? I don't have an answer. We return inside. The group has gathered in the second-floor office. Mitchell lays out the situation. No one speaks for a long time. Finally, Pete breaks the silence. My daughter is in Fargo. We all look at him. He's standing at the window looking east. She's 23, lives alone. If this thing spread that far, his voice breaks. He clears his throat. I need to know if she's okay. We can't drive to Fargo, Mitchell says gently. That's 300 miles through potential hot zones. I know. I'm not asking you to come with me. I'm saying I can't sit here. Can't wait. I need to know. Pete, I start. I'll take my truck. Leave at first light. You all stay here, stay safe. I'll come back if I can. If I can't, he shrugs. You've got the grain, the well. You'll be fine. You'll die out there, Susan says flatly. Probably, but I can't sit here wondering. I'd rather die trying than live with not knowing. Mitchell looks at me. I see the question in his eyes. Do we let him go? I think about Stephanie, about whether she's safe in Minot, about how I'd feel if I didn't try to find out. If you're going, take someone with you, I say. It's safer with two. I'll go. Everyone turns. Kyle has spoken. He's standing now, cradling his splinted wrist. My brother's dead, he says quietly. My parents are in Grand Forks. I don't know if they're alive or like those things, but I need to find out. Grand Forks is on the way to Fargo. We could. No, Mitchell says firmly. We can't split up. We're stronger together. Stronger? Kyle laughs bitterly. We're 7 people in a grain elevator with 20 rounds of ammunition and a week's worth of food. We're not strong. We're just not dead yet. He's right, and we all know it. Let's sleep on it, I suggest. Make decisions in the morning when we're thinking clearly. Everyone agrees, though I suspect no one will actually sleep. Night falls. We set up watches, 2 people awake at all times, scanning the prairie for movement. So far, nothing. The infected seem to stay near roads, near population centers. Out here in the empty farmland, we're alone. Danny and I take the first watch. We sit in the second-floor office, looking out at the moonlit snow. It's beautiful in a desolate way, peaceful. Do you think Mom's okay? He asks quietly. I want to lie, want to tell him yes, absolutely, she's fine, but he deserves honesty. I don't know, buddy. It's a bigger city than Williston. If the outbreak hit there, I pause. Your mom's smart. She'd go to ground, wait it out. That's what we taught you, right? Emergency protocols. Stay inside, secure the doors, wait for help. But what if help isn't coming? Then she'll adapt. She's tough. Remember when the furnace died that winter and she kept the pipes from freezing using space heaters and blankets? She's a survivor. He nods, but I can see he's not convinced. Hell, I'm not convinced. Dad, what if we can't stay here? What if we have to keep moving? Then we move. We adapt. We survive. How long can we do that? Keep running? Keep hiding? As long as we have to. He's quiet for a moment. Then, I'm scared. Me too. Really? You don't seem scared. I'm terrified. But I can't show it because you need me to be strong. Same way I needed my dad to be strong when I was your age and things got hard. Did Grandpa ever have to deal with anything like this? No. But he dealt with hard things, life-threatening things, and he taught me that being brave doesn't mean not being afraid. It means being afraid and doing what needs to be done anyway. Danny considers this. Then, what needs to be done now? We need to live, survive this, be here when the world starts putting itself back together. And if it doesn't, then we keep surviving, I think, for as long as we can, until we can't anymore. But I don't say that. Instead, I put my arm around my son and pull him close. Then we make our own world, I tell him, small and safe, and we protect it. Outside, the prairie is silent. The moon is bright on the snow. Somewhere out there, the infected are wandering. Thousands of them, maybe millions, all that remain of a world that died in a blizzard. But we're still here, still alive. And as long as we're breathing, there's hope. Even if it's just the hope of seeing another sunrise. This is Tommy Briggs, day 1 of what I'm calling the cold death. We're at the grain elevator east of Keene. 7 survivors, limited supplies, no contact with the outside world. But we're alive. And tomorrow, when the sun comes up, we'll still be alive. That's all I can promise. That's all any of us can promise now. End recording.